I've been having some issues with this garage door for a little while. I had the same issue a few months ago, and it throws up this error. Cable tension failure, error 3-5. What's going on is the door will open just like it should, and I'll do what I need to do, and then I'll hit the button for it to come down, and it'll drop a little bit, and then it'll throw up this error code, and the door stops. And typically, if I hit the button again, it'll go ahead and come on down, or sometimes I'll hit the button, and it'll sort of jolt again. And then I hit the button a third time, and it'll typically go down. So I'm gonna hit the button here and see if it goes down. Okay, we're gonna make sure it goes down okay, and nothing out of the ordinary. I'm gonna show you how to fix this. Because like I said, it did it to me some months ago. I adjusted it. It worked fine for a while, but now it's acting up again. I'm gonna have to adjust it again. So I'm gonna climb up there and I'll show you what we need to do at that box. Let me grab a ladder. All right, well, I'm standing up on my ladder now, and the cable tension failure is caused by this sensor here. And what that does is that sensor rides on that cable, and if the cable gets slack in it, it throws that error code. And the reason that that error code comes up and the door stops is when that cable gets slack in it, the sensor thinks that the cable jumped off the spool. So there's like a critical failure and it just stops. What's happening though is typically what causes this is you've got your garage door adjusted too far up. So when it comes up, it's too far up. And when you hit the button to bring it down, it causes just a bit of slack in that cable for just a second, and that's all it takes to trip that sensor out. So what we need to do is adjust this door so that it's not open quite so far. So how we do that is we just pull up on this, and that kind of props up out of your way. Hit this button in the middle here. Hear the beep? Okay, now we're gonna adjust this. We're gonna hold down this up arrow until we get the door open to the height that we want. So it's coming up. Okay, now I don't want my door open all the way, not completely, so I'm just gonna tap this a little bit. I wanna walk it up just a few steps, and I'm getting close to being completely open. I think that's about as far as I want to push my luck. The cable's still nice and tight there. It's in tension. The reason this, what's causing this is when you have the door open so far, all the weight is supported up here on the track. And when you hit the button for it to come down, the motor turns and it puts slack in that cable. Now, when we have the door adjusted down just a little bit, we've got weight hanging on the cable, so when the motor turns, the weight of the door is taking up the slack of the cable. So we've got our door adjusted up as high as we want to go. Now we hit this button in the middle again. We're going to have to adjust it down. And when this thing hits the ground, I'm going to stop it. I don't want to put too much pressure on it. So I'm watching over there, I'm watching from up here. It's a little funny angle when you're standing on the ladder. But as soon as that hit the ground, I took my finger off that button. So now we hit the button in the middle again. Now the door wants to cycle automatically to sort of finalize the pressures and stuff. So we're just gonna tap this up button now. And the door is going to cycle up, and it should stop just where we set it before. I'm watching that sensor back there. Okay, so it stopped just where we set it. Now we're going to have to do the same thing for the down travel. So we tap that button. The door's going to run down automatically. Stops and locks. Okay, we're all done. So I'm gonna close it up here. I'm gonna climb down and I'm gonna go ahead and cycle it just to be sure we don't have our problem and it's fixed. So we're gonna verify that it's working now. Okay, now it went up just fine. It stopped where we set it. And you can see that my door opening is actually a few inches higher than I've got the door adjusted to. So that's a sacrifice that I have to make in order to get the door to function properly all the time. So just keep that in mind. The problem was caused because the door was open too far. I was trying to take advantage of the full opening of my door frame, and you just simply can't in some applications. Again, I adjusted this about 6 or 8 months ago and it had been working fine. And I don't know if it just kind of creeps up over time that you know, you may have to readjust this every few months. So let's go ahead and try it one more time. Right there would have been the problem. So it would have already acted up. I can see that sensor, that little roller riding on that cable looks good. Working like it should. Okay, guys, well, I hope I helped you with this one. If I did, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see me working on more projects out here in the garage, working on a 68 C10 right now, click the subscribe button. Until the next video, keep on tinkering.